Listen in Colour. Hi everyone, welcome to Listen in Colour with me, Rachel Walker-Mason. Here's some more Nightwish for you fans.
Thank you very much! Welcome to the second show here, but the very first DVD recording, and you're part of it! So this will be a special night with us and you, all right?
Before Floor even comes in with her gorgeous vocals, I love that Nightwish, if they want to do a long intro, they flipping do a long intro. Like we're often told particularly in pop songwriting, within 30 seconds of the song starting, we should be at the chorus, at the first chorus, which does not give you much time. And I love that, I know Floor spoke a little bit at the beginning, that we're at 1 minute 19 and she hasn't even sung yet. And I love that they just do exactly what they want. They make their own rules, and I think that's awesome. They've clearly got a fan base who absolutely loves them, and they're such good musicians. I always say this, they're so good that if they want to do a section where it's a slightly more orchestral bit, and then they'll do the same, they'll loop the same music, but have the guitars coming in and things, they just will, because they know what they want to do. And rules be damned. I love it. I love it. Right, let's go back a little bit and we can hear Floor sing beautifully to us.
Tear me to bits and join the scene of screaming verbal vanity. Shining the words in beautiful. Your tongue running water running my bridge. You have the world in store for you. I'm wishing flies the lost in you. Bring about the pain and proof where alive. Can you feel it?
Wow, this is the first time I've heard Floor sing like this. This is, usually there's more kind of prettiness in her voice. This is really throaty and aggressive. It's still absolutely amazing. I mean, we've talked about this, she could sing anything. I've heard there's a video of her singing The Phone Book, which is just perfection. But this is really like guttural. It's got a lot of edge, and it's like it's coming from somewhere emotionally really quite raw. So often she is quite kind of mid-range for her, and she has a couple of notes where she goes into a slightly tilted sung kind of sound, but most of it is quite kind of aggressive and guttural. So it's got a lot of constriction in it. So that's when your false vocal folds come over the top, and you get that kind of like you're gonna swallow kind of sound. So she's got a lot of that in there. It's quite edgy and threatening. Usually there's more kind of pretty in her voice, but this is really interesting to hear this vocal colour in her voice. I love that. Oh, she's amazing. Wow, gosh, this is not what I thought her vocal would be at all. It's quite, she's singing with quite a low larynx, so it's all kind of down here. So usually she's more kind of mid-level, like when her speaking voice is not excessively high or low, it's just sort of somewhere in the middle. But she's got her larynx right down, so it's like if you swallow hard, your larynx goes right down. So she's singing with a really low larynx. And then she's using, and I'm not sure if it's her or if it's one of the other band members, doing that kind of slightly screamo kind of quality. And I can't tell it because they're singing at the same time. I can't tell if it's Floor or if it's someone else. But there's this kind of quality to it as well, which you get in more kind of heavier, you know, kind of death metal kind of things. And I'm not usually a fan of that kind of sound, but I like it here because it's used quite sparingly, and emotionally the song is so powerful and so aggressive and so driven. That vocal fits this completely, fits the emotional arc. It's really, really intense. Goodness me, I don't think I knew what to expect here, but I was not expecting this. Just when I think I've seen all the colours of Nightwish, I see something completely different. They are so amazing. And she's coming off the notes like, oh, into this kind of tight, not so slack folds is more like going into a relaxed sound. This is more like the opposite of that, which is that constriction, kind of like she's being strangled. So it's got this really aggressive, hard edge to it. I think if I saw this video before any of the other Nightwish ones, I would have assumed they were a very different kind of band. So it's really interesting to see this about 5 or 6 videos in to my introduction to their music, because this is a very different colour. It's so interesting. Wow. So she's gone up the octave here. Da, 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 da. So she's in slightly more of a song quality, but it's got so much grit in it. It's not as clean as her normal vocal. It is fascinating. And even up the octave, she's still ending some of the notes with that kind of sound. It's not like da 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 da, which is how we're used to hearing her sing in her mid-range. It's really cool. These lyrics are, they are dark. That line, feed me to pigs in your fantasies. Whew. That's quite a line, isn't it? I know you Nightwish fans, you know all the information, so please tell me what this one's about. Is this another Tuomas epic lyric? Because the story is very interesting, and it's very, very visual. Your tongue, oily water under my bridge. Like, that is just, as soon as you see oily, it makes you think of the colour of oil and what oil does to water, and that kind of mix. It's really, this all feels very murky. And the lighting for this is green and kind of gungy, looking like a swamp. And I imagine that's intentional. I wish you'd find the lost in you. Wow. That is what an incredible line that is. That is, rather than, I wish you'd fix yourself, I wish you'd, not be as much of a mess. I wish you'd find the lost in you. That is just gorgeous poetry. Wow. I love finding little turns of phrase like that in songs where you're like, that is genius, to say the same thing, but in a much more interesting, poetic way than the normal way of saying it. Genius. this is so dense. Like musically, it is so dense and unrelenting. Like quite often, I think something's changing slightly here, but often Nightwish go through almost like musical scenes, and they'll lighten things slightly with a different kind of texture in the instruments, or shifting to a guitar solo, or going more onto keyboards or something. But it's this really dense texture all the way through that doesn't let up. It's quite suffocating, but in a really cool way, that you're getting the sentiment of this song. Yours is an empty hope. If you're watching on a mobile, you have the chance to hype this video. So if you like it, hype it. The link is down here. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen next. It's a fantastic instrumental section there. Oh, that's a very interesting section. So Floor here is singing her beautiful, kind of tilted, breathy, angelic voice. But it's really odd notes she's singing. They're like not out of tune, but they're kind of pitched really odd. So it sounds like it belongs in another song or something. It makes you feel quite unsettled, like it's coming from somewhere else. Almost, and there's like a reverb on her voice, so it sounds like it's coming from another world or from another zone or something. It's quite eerie. Maybe that's a clue to what the song's about. It's quite interesting. Working in the music industry is not well paid. So if you would like to support me, you can buy me a coffee, or a tea, as I say, because I'm British and drink a lot of tea. Doing this enables me to support my family, to make more videos like this, and I am so grateful to everybody who's already done that. It's so incredibly kind of you, and my family and I are so grateful. If you would like a more regular way to support me, you can become a member of the Colourwave crew, and in doing that, you get to see videos before anybody else. I read a bit of information before that explained the song a bit. So I think it's about online abuse, and so the lyrics, like, let's look at the lyrics. Tear me to bits, enjoy the scene of screen name verbal vanity. I'm assuming that's what it's about, because I mean, God, how many trolls are online? Like, it's just, this digital age has made people truly awful, because they feel like they can say anything because they're sitting there at their little keyboard. It's really frightening how nasty people are with that screen between them and another person. They feel untouchable, and it's awful. And how many terrible things have happened, how many people have committed suicide because of things like that being said about them online, how many horrible things have happened. Churning the words imbued in filth, your tongue, oily water under my bridge. Ooh. So that image that I was thinking of, and it all being very like gungy and like pond water, and the lighting is very like yellowy green at that point. It's quite unpleasant. That makes sense of it if it is about that, about kind of online bullying. And lots of us have gone through that. I've been there, and it's really quite unpleasant. And it's easy to say, oh, you know, sticks and stones might break my bones, da, da, da. But it's horrible when those things are said. It's really hurtful, and you just sort of run it over in your mind. You have the world; it's all for you. Well, this makes sense now. The I wish you'd find the lost in you. That's amazing. So, like, yeah, these online trolls, they can go and do good things. Is that what it means? That they can go and make good choices, go and do good things with their words, but they're choosing to sit there and just sort of spew filth and hate onto Twitter or whatever it is they're writing on, or X as it's called now. Grateful for the pain, it proves we're alive. Can you feel it? Now, is that Tuomas saying that he's grateful for the pain because it proves we're alive? Or is Tuomas saying about the online trolls that they're grateful for the pain because it proves we're alive? That's quite interesting, isn't it? Like, why do these people do this? Why do they bully online? Not everybody does that. Why do some people do it? What is it in them that makes them feel that they need to do that? Is it to make them feel like they're alive? Like they have some kind of impact on the world by saying these things? Who knows? I often find that people who have worked hard to kind of achieve things tend to be, even if they don't work in the same area of business as you, they tend to be more supportive because they know how hard it is to write songs, or how hard it is to be a performer, or how hard it is to you know do any of these jobs. It's often people who haven't achieved very much who tend to troll like this. So that whole thing about the feed me to the pigs in your fantasies, like it's such an incredible imagery. Like Narcissus who bribes the pool, a hollow voice ruin with a roof. Wow, it's just so clever. And I love that kind of writing when it does take you a little while to figure out what the song is about, because the writer has used something else to tell us that story. And this is genius, using this completely different imagery to kind of this different medium to paint this story is so interesting.
I can let you out, the world is all for you. Yours is an empty hole. Yours is an empty hole. Ha! Yours is an empty hole. Yours is an empty hole.
Wow.
Thank you.
Goodness me. God, there is so much intention in that laugh near the end, that kind of slightly maniacal. It's like at the end it feels very powerful, like, you know, almost they've got the power. Like no one, you know, whatever people are saying, it's, you know, it's an empty hope because they're really powerful and strong and nothing can affect them. And then that line, the yours is an empty hope. I can see why they're singing it with such strength, and that kind of maniacal laugh near the end makes total sense now, because yeah, theirs is an empty hope. It's like, yeah, fine, criticize me then, but it's not going to make you a bigger person. It's not going to make you suddenly successful. If we can rise above that, and it does hurt. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but I think Tuomas maybe got to a point where he was like, yeah, say what you want. It's not going to hurt me. It's not going to bring me down. So yours is an empty hope. If you hoped that you saying this about me would crush me and stop me writing songs and stop me performing, then ain't gonna happen. So yeah, good for him. Love it. It's very dense. There's such a dense musical texture in this. There's a lot of heavy strings, which I love, that are throughout until that clapping section. It's this really dense, solid string noise, and then these little high string bits that come in that kind of punctuate the texture, and then Floor singing very differently and in quite a unpleasant way. Is that reflecting the way that the trolls are, like how their words sound, kind of like they're dripping in disdain and disgust and ugliness. It's so beautifully put together, and it makes it so ugly, which is so perfect for the meaning of the song. It's amazing. So colour-wise, it is very much like that lighting, that greenish yellow kind of thing, which just looks kind of dingy because everything feels very dense musically. So it's almost as if I can't see any specific colours. It's all just like a mush of colours until later on, when it's the clapping section and it sort of spreads out a bit, and then Floor does that lovely, unusual vocal, and everything becomes a little bit more kind of red, like a cleanish kind of red line going through, and then it goes back into the final chorus, and it still is kind of dingy, but there just seems to be like lighter things that are punctuating the texture. It feels more triumphant there, so it's got some kind of bold brassy kind of sounds coming through. It's a really odd colour palette because it's quite unpleasant, quite unsettling, but that's what the song being written in that way to feel like, you know, when you read all these horrible things online about yourself, you can sit there all night and read them, and they're like just coming at you and coming at you and coming at you and like crushing your little spirit, crushing your soul. And that song feels like that. It's like it's this like bashing relentlessness of have this, and that is very much how it feels when you're being trolled like that. It is so brilliantly written. I love it. I just think that's so clever, and the way Floor sings it's another masterpiece. Another masterpiece. Well done, Nightwish. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I can't wait to hear what you think about this video, so keep those comments coming. And remember to have a colourful day. Listening